Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. We've got a celebrity here on the show today, Zach Schuler, who's the CEO and founder of Ninjio. You may have seen him because he was interviewed on Good Morning America. Ninjio is a cybersecurity awareness business with over 1 million active monthly subscribers. Ninjio produces 3 to 4 minute animated story-based episodes featuring real security breaches in order to educate and to change the behavior of the employees of the customers that subscribe to their service. Zach is also a member of Forbes Technology Council, which is an invitation-only community comprised of leading CIOs, CTOs, and technology executives. So Zach, why don't you tell us why you started Ninjio about 5 years ago?
Well, that's a great question, Steve. So prior to Ninjio, I ran a managed services provider, kind of like an outsourced IT company for the small and medium-sized business. I'd done that for about 18 years, and I would say about 95% of the time that one of our clients would be breached, it would be due to human error. Somebody clicking on a link they shouldn't have, visiting a website they shouldn't have, opening an attachment they shouldn't have. And I had this fleeting thought at the time of, wow, it'd be really cool if people were just educated and they knew what to do and what not to do on their PCs. A lot of our clients would save a lot of heartache. But at the time, I was running a 100-person managed services company, and starting an education company was just a fleeting thought. I sold that business in 2013, and then in 2015, I read an article in Channel Pro magazine that talked about the horrific state of security awareness training. And so I started doing some investigation. I went onto YouTube and typed in security awareness training and found a 45-minute long death by PowerPoint where the lecturer covered 14 topics in the first 10 minutes. And it was at that point I was just like, wow, there has to be a better way. I have to be able to flip the script on this and do something just completely differently. And as you noted kind of in your intro, 3 to 4 minute long animated episodes that teach people how to be cyber safe. And they're done all in a storytelling format. We emotionally engage the viewer in the first scene of every episode, which we can keep them engaged through the end, through the teachable moment. We focus on a single attack vector in the episode, so we're not confusing the user with too many technical terms. And that formula has just proven to be a really good formula that works for millions of people.
Yeah, you got a killer business. I agree with you. I don't know anybody who really does the education portion as good as you do. It seems like services focus on putting locks on the doors and locks on the windows and all that kind of thing. And in reality, like you mentioned, 80 to 95% of the time, employees just open the front door and let the hacker right in. So education is a key. So talk about who your ideal client is. Can a small company educate their employees, or is it just Fortune 100? What?
Yeah, I get that question all the time. It's hard to say what an ideal client is. Usually, the clients that produce the most revenue for us are larger. These would be organizations with 25,000 employees or greater. But if you look at where the lion's share of our business is, it's in that 30 to 500 user space. There just happens to be a lot of those sorts of companies that are out there, and we do a pretty good job of marketing and branding and getting the word out, and so we have a lot of incoming interest from organizations of those sizes. But we're all over the board, man. We've got my 8-person dental office all the way up to the largest insurance company in the US, the largest insurance company in the UK, the largest insurance company in the world. Well, we've got major airlines, we've got divisions of the Department of Homeland Security, and kind of everything in between. So, we're across the board.
Well, I think it's really interesting also, because talking to you before we went on the air about where you get your content, and that keeps it relevant. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, yeah, it's funny how we get our content. It's usually from my wife sending me an email about a breach that she read about on CNN or Fox or BBC. And I mean, literally that's really is where we get our material, right? If there's a breach that's covered by a major media organization, then we'll dig into that breach. We'll figure out, was human error a factor? And if it was, then there's a good chance that we'll do an episode on that breach. And for a number of reasons. Number one, it needs to be covered. Number two, it creates a high level of relevance. A month later after we release that episode, somebody goes, oh yeah, I heard about the Capital One credit card breach as a for example, right? I just got the free identity protection notice in the mail from them. And so creating that relevance makes it more likely that the customer or the viewer is going to engage with our content because it's about something that they've read about in the headlines.
Yeah, definitely keeps it relevant. So I know you're a big I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show, and we always end the show with something kind of entertaining. Why don't you tell the viewers a little known fact about you, Zach?
Oh, wow. A little known fact about me. Shoot. Well, okay, this is a bad one. So this is a bad one. Between the ages of 13 and I'll say 15, I was a graffiti artist.
Like for commission, or were you paid for your work, or did the police follow you around?
The police would follow me around.
Okay, well, I think there's a statute of limitations on that, isn't there?
There is, and I never got arrested, and I might have had permission to paint on whatever it was that I wanted to paint on.
Well, I've done over 100 shows, and I've never had a confessed graffiti artist on the show. So I appreciate the candid answer. Zach, thanks a lot for being on the show today. I appreciate it. And thanks for watching, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate you having me on.